Yeah, so there I was, me and this guy, Josh Towsley. And Josh, he was quite a character. You know, he had like a big old beard and long hair, and you know, he was from Boston, so he had a thick Massachusetts voice. And he drove like a truck, and like literally everywhere we went, he was like dodging the cops. He like had some warrant for like, I don't know what was going on. And he had all these crazy stories about his like wealthy grandma and all the things he did back east. He was a pretty wild guy. It seemed almost impossible. But little by little, you know, sometimes these guys that seem like they have impossible tales are like the real thing. And Josh definitely kind of fit that category. But yeah, we started over at Bert's Classic, and Bert had a shop in downtown Tucson in an era that it was popping, man. Like, it was right near Congress, and you had bars everywhere, and you had shows every night, and there was like local bike clubs that definitely ran shit down there, and the cops were like almost more afraid of those dudes than anybody else. And it was a scene. It was great. You know, it was near the tap room, and the guys at the shop that were there kind of had like these on and off gigs at the tap room, you know, at the Congress. And there was this guy, Mike Davenport, kind of like good looking dude, real slick. He owned a barber shop. You know, he had like a beautiful wife, and it was like, it was a cool scene. And Marcus Parkus was there. That's where I met my good friend Marcus Parkus. We've been friends for 20 years, and yeah, that was like where we connected, and it was just a cool, nice place to work. Bert was a traditional tattooer, and he learned to tattoo in San Francisco, kind of from like the Lyle Tuttle scene. So he was connected with a lot of cool stuff. He ran the Tattoos and Blues out in San Francisco, like one of the world's longest running tattoo convention. Like he's got juice, and he was way down with Japanese tattooing, and that was before I understood how cool it was. And I remember just kind of being around the shop, and the dude, you know, once you kind of start tattooing, once I got to that era, I remember he was so intense, you know, you never knew what he was going to do. And if you were pulling a line and he'd slow down or stop, he'd smack you in the back of the head. He'd say, "Sack up, boy, sack up." And that's how I learned to tattoo. You know, that was the kind of early days, you know, sack up, figure it out, you know, bow down and be humble and be cool, because otherwise you didn't have a shot. You know, I was lucky to be there. So yeah, it was a good times, man. Bert Classics Tattoo. Like, thank you, Bert. That was rad. And thank you, Mike Davenport and Marcus Parkus and that whole crew that took me in.